It's review time, and I'm coming off of a very frustrating final fight, so hopefully I keep it together. Okay, I'm gonna be able to get through this hopefully pretty concisely. Animation and visuals, we're just gonna jump right into it. I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. I wrote here that the 3D presentation did not look good and was very derivative, obviously, of later Mega Man games, later Mega Man X games. The stages, the bosses, the characters, and the overall look was actually, it's not very memorable. Like, even though, like when they showed the pictures a second ago, I was like, I don't know who these characters are. I can't remember them. Sound, I'm giving. It's funny because this music that's playing right now is actually really good, but I'm gonna have to give sound a 2 for a lot of the same reasons. I wrote here the audio effects, the distant sounds, the directional sounds. This theme is actually really good, but I think it's the main theme for the game. But I said here this is the closest category to a 3 because I couldn't think of much that was below average, but the voice acting for Dr. Sando was very grating. A lot of the mighty numbers were very annoying. And there was nothing I wrote here. I couldn't think of anything that was standout, that wasn't just run-of-the-mill. And I was saying that, like, the game sounds the way I think it should sound, but I don't think, you know, anything was particularly memorable. So 2 out of 5 on sound. Narrative, I can't even give this a 3. 3 is just average. 3 is like, it goes, like, there's like nothing spectacular about it. There's nothing memorable. There's nothing amazing. I think what brings this down to a 2 is obviously there's no real themes to the game. That, you know, it was derivative of Mega Man in every way. I mean, my narrative review of this game is just, like I said, it's so much like Mega Man.
Mighty is defined as possessing great and impressive power or strength.
What's going on here?
On account of size. The mighty nature inside a tiny man can make the hardest task routine, and the smallest spark in a mighty man can power the impossible dream. 20XX, we living in the future now, getting by a little better than we used to now, but it ain't all good, cause my hood's in a panic, so the government's...
My hood's in a panic. Okay, sound is definitely a 2. Narrative is a 2. Gameplay is a 2. I'm gonna talk over this rapping, if you want to even call it that. Oh my god. I was gonna try to break down all of this.
But one day there was a cybercrime that made the top robot team lose their minds.
Oh my god, dude. I can't give it less than a 2 on sound, which of course encompasses music, because something not being good is not quite the same as I don't like it. But gameplay, combat, mechanics, depth, complexity, hopefully I can be heard over the game. And enjoyment. They added lyrics to the Mega Man theme, or the Mighty Number 9 theme. Again, Mega Man in a nutshell. The gameplay was essentially Mega Man. I didn't like the fact that there was this random one level where, and I went on a whole segment here in my notes, but there was one level where you played as Call, and it was so out of place. It was like she kind of had a jetpack to glide. She didn't really have an attack other than to push enemies away. It was ridiculous. It broke the pacing of the game. I want to give that a 1 in gameplay, but that brought it down. The fact that, like, you can tell that this game was very directionless, right? On all categories. Maybe not animation and visuals, but on sound it definitely was. What is this? Hip-hop rap style music for, like, this game that doesn't, like, it's so, like, thematically off. So the depth of mechanics was and complexity was near non-existent. Maybe there was other things that I could have read about in the options, but I pretty much played the exact same way the entire game, up until the last 2 levels where they were just like, oh yeah, remember all those, like, robot master abilities you've been getting? Psst, you need to use those. So my final, like, note on the gameplay was that I understand leading up to this game, and because I'm not playing it in 2016, I don't think it's entirely fair to rate it against all the controversy that happened against that when I'm playing it 4 years later. But I understand, looking back to that point, that people wanted a spiritual successor to Mega Man. And I guess you can call this that. But this is a one and done. There's nothing coming out after this. This is, you know, it was a disaster building up to the launch, and as far as I know, there's nothing coming after this. This is it. But it didn't bring anything new. I mean, the absorption ability, acceleration, I think is what it was called. I didn't think it was very good. In fact, I thought, and I said this earlier in my playthrough, Keiji Inafune, woof. I thought it was kind of ridiculous that you could do it as free as you could. Like, there should have been, it almost sounds weird to say this, but I feel like there should have been some limitation as to how that move operated. Like, you know, some sort of, and I said this earlier, maybe a resource mechanic. So you couldn't just do it willy-nilly, and you could. So I don't know, man. I mean, this game was just not an enjoyable experience, and on top of it not being enjoyable, it was very difficult for me to see things very objective with regards to, you know, how it works. I mean, great, you know, all the backers, people that wanted to, the backers and the mighty numbers, all the people that wanted to see this game come because Capcom wouldn't make a Mega Man game. That's cool, but I didn't think it was very well made. It worked, you know, it didn't crash, you know, it didn't look awful, but overall, I didn't think it was it didn't have a strong direction overall, and I thought that the gameplay was all over the place, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And this game, along with games like Hollow Knight, are probably going to change the way I review games, because I don't want to have to sit through these, go, I finished it and here's my thoughts. I feel like I should be able to get through a good portion of it and then go, I'm out, I don't want to complete this, and here are my overall thoughts based on what I played. So, I already wrote down my final score here, but to look at it, we got animation and visuals, again, to recap, is a 3. Sound is a 2. Woof. The narrative is a 2. I can't even give it average. Gameplay is a 2. I didn't even think it was like run of the mill. That ends up with a final score of 2.25. So, dealing with round numbers, I'm giving Mighty Number 9 a 2 out of 5. Would not recommend. If you've played Mega Man, if you've played any of the later Mega Man games for sure, like the X series, you pretty much played this one. So, that's it. That's my review. I'm gonna let the credits play out here, but I am happy to be done with this. And oh, I wonder. Okay, this is pretty interesting. This doesn't make me give the game a higher score by any means, but I think what this is are people who are saying like what number they are as far as like what they backed.
Alyssa and Jocelyn Gilbert, mighty number 36,236. I am mighty.
36,000? How long are these credits?
Mighty number 37089. I am mighty.
Neil Wilson, mighty number 562.
Oh, whoa, what do we have here?
52. I am mighty. Matsuoka Toru, mighty number 6134. Ore wa mighty.
I mean, the other thing too is like obviously, you know, my opinion when it comes to games is very, very different than I think most people. I hope people liked it. I already know the Metacritic score on this game, which I don't really use as a barometer when I'm playing. It's like a 3 user score, and I think 55 for critic reviews. That didn't sway me at all. I kind of looked it up about halfway through just to kind of see, because I wasn't enjoying it at that point. But if it's 3 out of 10, I mean, I guess that lines up with my score a bit, because I'm saying 2 out of 5. So below average. Yeah, I never want to play this again, and I would not recommend it to anybody. So that's it. I'm done. I'm out of here. Good Lord.